Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. So we were in the third Brahmanam of the fourth chapter, which is Swayam Jyotir Brahmanam. Here we had seen up to the 11th mantra here. So Tadete Shloka Bhavanti. So this shloka means here this Upanishad is quoting a Brahmana Vakya, and you can see Swapnena Shariram Abhiprahatya Asuptaha Suptan Abhichakashiti. So by Swapna Bhava, this Sharira is made, you can say, without any awareness or without any activity. Nischeshtam apadya, like that Bhashyakara says. Then Asuptaha, the one who never sleeps. The Alupta Drika, this Atma, then all the things it sees. This Suptan means here that which has slept, but it is still there in the form of Vasana and in the form of impressions, correct? So that this Atma is seeing, that means it is basically lighting it up. And then again it wakes up. Okay, this Hiranmayaha Purushaha, it is said. Hiranmayaha means again that which is self-luminous, shining like gold. And it is also called Eka Hamsaha here. So Eka Eva Hanti iti Eka Hamsaha, the one and only one which goes through all these different states and different lokas, all these things, this Atma. So even in this shloka, it is clear that Atma is separate from this body-mind-sense complex, and leaving this body-mind-sense complex, in dream world it enters, you can say, and then it lights up the entire dream world by itself. That's why it is Swayam Jyotihi. And then again it comes back to waking like this. This dream is a very important illustration for us to understand that this self, which is of the nature of consciousness, is separate from the body, mind and senses, all these things. Because most other darshanas do not accept this. Even modern scientists think that some chemical activity in the brain or electrical activity in the brain creates consciousness and all that. That is their view. So, but the Upanishad tries to illustrate this using the dream. Now continuing, in fact, the same idea almost is there. Pranena rakshan avaram kulayam bahish kulayat amritas charitva. So, pranena rakshan. See, even when you are sleeping and you are in a dream world, even though the Upanishad said that you are almost, it is like killing this physical body, you don't really kill it or anything, right? Or you don't make it like a dead body. Otherwise, then when you go to sleep, some people will then take your body and then take it for cremation. It will become a problem. So the prana is still operating. The pancha prana operates even when you are sleeping, when you are dreaming. So the prana is the one which is protecting this body. Even when you are not aware of the body, bodily activities, certain activities continue due to prana. So that's how it is protected. Okay. And then avaram. So this physical body is called avaram, means very lowly, you can say, worthless. Why? Because the physical body itself is, we say that it is created of the tamasic portion of the Pancha Mahabhutas, correct? When we look at the Triguna model, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, the physical body is actually from the tamas aspect of the Pancha Mahabhutas. The prana is basically the rajas, and the sense organs and the prana and the karmendriyas, basically the organs of action, and then the sense organs and mind are all sattva guna pradhana. Like this, we have our creation model. So even in that, this body is basically tamasic. Therefore, it is considered to be a lowly or worthless, because anyway, if you have body identification with this body, you become limited. All the problems of the body becomes your problem. So it has to be looked upon as lowly only. So avaram kulayam. So the body is seen like a nest. Kulayam means needam or nest actually. It is like the bird which lives in the nest, correct? Because the deha, dehi, we talk about the deha and the dehi. Similarly, the body is like a nest and the actual bird is the atma, you can say. It comes into the nest, it goes out of the nest. Okay. So like that, bahish kulayat amritas charitva. So amritaha atma, the atma which is immortal, which does not die. That means the body is the only one which is subjected to birth and death. Even because of that, you can say it is avaram. Correct? Why is the body avaram? One more reason is it is subjected to shad bhava vikara. Correct? Asti, jayate, viparinamate, apakshiyate. All these things are there. Correct? Vardhate, apakshiyate, vinashyati. So asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashyati. Like that, we call shad bhava vikara. That which is there, which is born, which grows, which then metamorphoses, and then which starts declining, and then death. All these 6 things it goes through. That is also another reason we can say body is avaram. Anyway, so the atma is amritaha. So it goes out of this nest, okay, of body, and then what happens? Sa iyate amritaha yatra kamam hiranmayaha purushaha ekahamsaha. So again this hiranmayaha purushaha ekahamsaha is repeated like in the previous mantra. This self-luminous, this only atma, leaving this body which is like a nest, then it flies, okay, and then what? Where does it go? And what does it do means? Iyate means gachati. Basically, it goes wherever. Yatra kamam means wherever its desires in the form of vasana again, it takes you, it goes there in the form of whatever is there in the form of vasana rupam again, means basically it goes into dream, correct? Dream world, and then it experiences that dream world. That's what is said here. Let us quickly see the Bhashya. Tatha pranena panchavrittina. So the pancha pranas are there, correct? Prana, pana, vyana, udana, samana. So prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. The pancha pranas. So panchavrittina rakshan, paripalayan. So protecting this body with prana. Otherwise, what will happen? Anyatha mrita bhrantihi. Otherwise, people will take the body to be dead. Okay, so the prana has to give the indication that body is still alive, and the body itself is avaram, nikrishtam, means it is lowly, it is worthless, you can say. Why? Because aneka ashuchi sanghatatvat. because it is a compound of many impure things, Bhashyakara says. That's what I said. Impurity here can be taken as the tamasic aspect of the Mahabhutas, or you can say that this body itself is made up of punya and papa and all that, correct? Papa also is an ashuchi or impurity only, we say, or it is subjected to Shad Bhava Vikara, like that we can take all these ways. So, Aneka Ashuchi Sanghatatvat Atyanta Bibhatsam, also it gives you fear, because the body, once you have body consciousness, you become limited, and it is disgusting. Bibhatsa means not really fear, but in fact, it is some kind of a disgust. So, lowly and disgusting this body is, because it makes you really limited, and it is like a nest. Kulayam needam shariram. So the body is like a nest, and then what? Swayam tu bahihi tasmat kulayat charitva. But the atma by itself, what? It goes out of this nest. Okay, going out of this nest, and then what? Yadyapi sharirastha eva swapnam pashyati tathapi tat sambandha abhavat tatsthaha iva akashaha bhaischaritva iti uchyate. So again, if the atma really goes out of the body, means then it will become like death, correct? Or if the atma leaves the body, means then it is death only. But here it is not like that. So Bhashyakara clarifies. He says that even though it is there in the body, but it does not have any body consciousness. Okay, or there is no connection between the body and the mind and senses and all that, because they have resolved. So the sambandha is not there. So the sambandha with the body, tat sambandha abhava, tat sthaha iva akasha, like even the space which is there in the pot. The space is there in the pot, pot space is there, but it has no sambandha with the pot or anything. In fact, the pot is in space, really speaking, not the space is in pot. Here also it is similar. Everything is in Atma, but we still talk about an Atma which is manifesting in the body mind sense complex. Okay, so even though being there, it doesn't have any sambandha like an akasha, and that only then goes out. It is said that it goes out means it doesn't have any sambandha with the body, basically. Bhaischaritva iti uchyate, that is what is called as going out. And amritaha swayam amarana dharma. So this atma is by itself, it does not have any death, it is immortal, it is not even subjected to time. Although we take the self as an entity in space time, that itself is ignorance. That is the primal ignorance. In fact, the space time is in me, that is the reality, but I take myself as an entity in space time. As soon as you are in space time, you are limited by space and time itself. In fact, that in space time itself is only due to the identification with the physical body. So even though in reality this atma is amarana dharma, it is immortal, but it is taken as mortal. And iyatse gachati, again this gachati and all that also is eva. All everywhere you have to add as though it goes. Where yatra kamam, wherever the kama takes, correct? Yatra kamaha vishayeshu udbhuta vrittihi bhavati tam kamam vasana rupena udbhutam gachati. So wherever this kama takes, okay, this kama is taking you to different places, and wherever the kama takes, there you go, because it is all based on, again, in the dream world also, he attains only the forms, the vasanas, which are actually driven by your own desires, it is said. So wherever this person's desires are, or whatever, even in waking is desiring something, most probably you will be dreaming about that, I think. So wherever your desires take you, there this person goes and sees that. Okay. Then Okay, next one. Swapnanta uchavacham iyamanaha rupani devah kurute bahuni uteva stribhihi saha modamanaha jakshad utevapi bhayani pashyan. So Swapnanta means here it is not end of the dream. Basically, Swapna sthane only Bhashyakara takes the meaning. While you are in Swapna, in the Swapna sthana, Uchavacham, Ucham, Avacham. So Ucham means again higher, Avacham means lower. So Ucham, Avacham, Iyamanaha. So Iyamanaha means you gain, you attain. Okay. What do you attain? You attain higher and lower forms, Rupani. Okay, and higher and lower forms means Deva Sharira, and lower forms means you can get some animal body and all that. So basically, what is said here is that you have no consciousness of the waking body. In the dream, you take up a totally new body. It can be a higher body, it can be a lower body. In fact, from that only one has to gain certain viveka, correct? Some discriminatory knowledge that the individuality associated with this physical body, one takes it as though it is one's nature. But what one can clearly see from our own experience, analyzing the three states of experience, one should be able to see very clearly the individuality is not intrinsic to me. The individuality comes and goes. I take a different individuality based on a different body, correct? Based on an identity with a different body in dream. But I am still the same. I am the waker, I am the dreamer, I am the sleeper. In the sleep, there is no individuality. Nothing is there. In dream, you have a different individuality. From all these things, one should be able to see clearly that this individuality itself is mithya, it comes and goes. So don't take this individuality too seriously, because it's not your very nature. It is something transient. It comes and goes. That's what the Upanishad also is saying very clearly. So you take so many different forms. So here Devaha means the luminous one. Again, Atma is called Devaha. Devaha Rupani Kurute Bahuni. So Bahuni means Bhashyakara says limitless, Asankhyayani, countless, countless Vasana Maya Rupas you take up, you create, and you take up, you identify with that in the Swapna. And in that again what? Further, Uta also what? Stribihi saha modamanaha. So you may be enjoying with women and children and whatnot, other people. Again, Jakshat Utavapi means you may be laughing. Okay. And further also what? Bhayani Pashyan. You may also see something frightening things. Bhayani. So Bhibeti Yebhyaha iti Bhayani, like that Bhashyakara gives a vigraha from which you fear. Like you may see a tiger in the dream, okay, and you may be frightened, you may start running, and when the tiger is actually pouncing on you, you wake up. So in fact, this dream tiger is a very very famous illustration to point out that even mithya pramana can wake you up to the reality, correct? So you don't require a real tiger to wake you up from dream. A dream tiger is good enough to wake you up from the dream. Similarly, the Shastra and Veda Pramana, everything also is operating only in this Vyavahara. They are also equally part of the Mithya world only. But even that Mithya Pramana is good enough to wake you up into the Paramartha Swarupa. Like even the dream tiger can wake you up. So this illustration is used elsewhere, but here not in that manner. Here it is simply said that you can have pleasant experiences, you can enjoy or you can have frightening experiences. So you can have both sweet dreams and nightmares. Both are possible. So kincha swapnante swapnasthane uchavacham ucham devadibhavam. So ucham high means you gain like deva sharira, etc. Avacham tiryagadi bhavam. Tiryag means animals, because that which grows horizontally is called tiryag. And nikrishtam, okay, lowly. Tad uchavacham. So both uchava and avacha together becomes uchavacham. Iyamanaha means gamyamanaha. Prapnuvan means you attain these forms, correct? Rupani. And devaha dyotanavan. Dyotanavan means one who is shining, one who is luminous. That is deva, which is atma. Kurute. Kurute means nirvartayati. Vasana rupani bahuni asankheyani. So you create multiple countless forms which are all based on your own vasanas, impressions. And further what? Uta api also stribihi saha modamanaha iva, as though you are enjoying with women and other people. Jakshadiva hasanniva vayasyaihi. Again, you are laughing, okay, with friends. Vayasyaihi means whoever is of your own age and all that. And uta eva api bhayani. Also further what? You also see frightening things. So bhibeti ebhyaha iti bhayani simha vyaghradini. So like lion and tiger, that from which you are frightened, that is called bhaya here, frightening things. And again pashyan means pashyan iva. So everywhere Bhashyakara adds, correct? Modamanaha means there also iva, you can see. And Hasan Jakshat means again Jakshat iva. And Pashyan means Pashyan iva. Because the Ivakara is very important, because we have to connect it. Dhyayati iva, Lelayati iva. Already we saw. So that is flowing here, because in reality Atma doesn't do any of these things. Understand that. It is all only Upadhikrita. So that point should never be missed. Therefore, Bhashyakara very diligently he adds eva everywhere with all these verbs. So that Atma is still Nishkriyaha. In its presence only all these things are happening. Okay. Now continuing. Aramam asya pashyanti natam pashyati kaschaneti. So this Aramam means Aramanam, like that Bhashyakara takes, means all the reveling and sports, whatever, the Leela you can say. So everybody sees the activities of this Atma in the dream. Okay. In fact, everybody undergoes these three states of experience, correct? In fact, Shruti, out of its compassion, is actually saying this now here. See, these people, they miss the obvious, correct? They take it for granted. Whatever is obvious is taken for granted, because you are always focused on the objects of cognition. In that, you miss the subject. In the dream world, the subject is easily available for you to know as the one who is Swayam Jyotihi, correct? One who is lighting up everything, one as also the one who is other than the body mind sense complex. This can be very easily understood from the dream experience. It is as though you are able to see this Atma separately from the body mind sense complex right in front of your eyes. Like in Tamil we say Ullangai Nellikani, or in Sanskritam we say Hasta Malaka Iva. Even though it is like that, people miss it. People don't do any vichara. It is all, they just go with avichara siddha. Their own identity they take for granted. Okay. Nobody does any vichara and tries to understand this. So, aramam asya pashyanti. So, whatever in the dream world this person is doing, his activities, his leela, all that everybody sees. But then nobody sees his swarupa. Natam pashyati kaschana. Nobody sees this Atma itself, its Swarupa, as the Swayam Jyotihi, as something which is separate from the body, mind, sense complex. Like this, Shruti is saying this. Okay. In fact, Bhashyakara will then write very interesting Bhashya, we'll see. Then, tam na ayatam bodhayet ityahuhu. So people generally say, again, now the Upanishad itself is talking about a laukika, whatever is prasiddha in the world, whatever is well known or popular in the world. Based on that also one can understand this Atma is Swayam Jyoti. So it is now saying, in general it is said that do not wake up somebody violently or suddenly. Correct? When somebody is sleeping, do not wake them up violently. Why? Because if you do that, they may not wake up properly. They may get some problems. Okay, they may get some illness, diseases, and all that. This is the general popular idea, you can say. In fact, the Vaidyas, okay, they say what? Durbhishajyam ha asmai bhavati yam yeshana pratipadyate. So, even in our Ayurveda and all that, we have this concept of nadis and all that, correct? So, basically, that when you withdraw through the nadis, all these indriyas and all that, they go out through the nadi and then only this dream world is formed, correct? And again, they have to come back through the nadis into all the indriyas and then start functioning properly when they wake up. But when you violently or suddenly shake somebody up and wake them up, these indriyas will not go back properly. Okay, they can go to different nadis and all that. And in that manner, if it happens, then what? Certain organs will not function properly. So it becomes durbhishadya means then it becomes very difficult to treat that body. Okay, treatment becomes difficult. So durbhishadyam ha asmai bhavati yam yesha na pratipadyate means na pratipadyate means this whatever the indriyas and all which withdrew, they do not go back and gain their original position properly. Okay, then it becomes a problem. Like this, even the Vaidyas, they talk about in general in the world. From this also, what do we understand? This Atma is not this body mind sense complex, right? It is separate from that. It can withdraw from the body mind sense complex. Again, it comes back like that. So, this is clear even from this Laukika illustration. Then further, thereafter what? Athaha khalu ahuhu jagarita desha eva asya yesha iti yani eva hyeva jagrat pashyati tani supta ityatra ayam purushaha swayam jyotihi bhavati. Soham bhagavate sahasram dadami ataha urdhvam vimokshaya bruhiti. Okay, ataha, further what? Some people say, okay, some people even during Yajnavalkya's time, because here again understand all these things are said by Yajnavalkya to Janaka, and Yajnavalkya now is saying that there are some people, they say that whatever you see in the Swapna also is similar to what you are seeing in the Jagrad Avastha. And this Swapna Avastha is not something separate. Okay, even though it may be a Sandhyam Avastha and all that between Ihaloka and Paraloka, it is still part of Jagrat only. It is like Jagrat. Why? Because the reason for that they give is what? Yani hi eva Jagrat pashyati tani suptaha means whatever you see in the Jagrat only you are seeing in dream also. Okay. So like this, some people say, okay, so whatever is there in the dream state, whatever you see, it is the same. It is nothing but what you see in the waking state. And therefore what? The dream state is nothing but the waking state only. It is also part of the waking state like this. Okay. Why they say this? Because they do not want to accept this Atma is Swayam Jyotihi and it is Dehatma Vyatiriktaha. Correct? It is Deha Vyatiriktaha basically. They don't want to accept this. But whatever they say, we cannot accept or it is false. The Upanishad doesn't say explicitly it is false. In fact, it goes on to just say what? Tani supta iti atra. So with reference to that, what does the Upanishad say finally again? Or Yajnavalkya says, Ayam Purushaha Swayam Jyotihi Bhavati. So even though they say this, the Atma is really Swayam Jyotihi. It is self-revealing, self-existing entity, reality, and it is separate from this body, mind, sense complex. That is the truth. So like this, Yajnavalkya instructs Janaka, and then Janaka, what does he do? Soham Bhagavate Sahasram Dadami. So I'll give you 1,000 cows more, okay, for this teaching because it has helped me. But still, some more I want to know, okay, because I asked you the Kama Prashna, correct? This whole chapter started with the Kama Prashna of Janaka to Yajnavalkya, and Yajnavalkya had already given him a vara that you can ask me questions anytime you want, anytime you desire. That is the Kama Prashna. So he is showing his Kritagnyata, you can say, by giving, but he wants to hear more. That's why he is giving also, you can say, even for this much teaching, he has given 1,000 cows already. And then what? Ata urdhvam vimokshaya bruhi. But further, for my moksha, you teach me further, you explain me further. Okay, don't stop now. Keep going. Whatever you have told till now is clear, it helps me. But you have to continue. I need more from you. Okay, that's what Janaka is saying here. Let us see the Bhashya now. Aramam, Aramanam, Akridam, Anena Nirmitam, Vasana Rupam, Asya Atmanaha. So by this Atma, whatever was set up, correct, all these activities and all that in the dream world, which is in the form of impressions, Vasana Rupam of this Atma, all this whatever sport you can say, Akridam or reveling. Pashyanti Sarve Janaha, all the people see this. Everybody undergoes dream experience, correct? So they all see in the dream world, they have certain experience and all that. So they are aware of that. But still what? But what are they aware of? They are aware of the fact that they saw all these things in dream. Gramam, Nagaram, Striyam, Annadhyam, Ityadi, Vasana Nirmitam, Akridana Rupam. So whatever in the entire dream world, you have so many different types of experience, correct? You see villages, towns, cities, ladies, etc. So, but all of them are actually there only in the form of impressions, correct? Vasana nirmitam, they are all, and they are all in the form of like a leela, correct? Akridana rupam. But they see all these things only. People see, they experience all these things. They even talk about it. They can get up and talk about the dream world. But from that further, they do not analyze or do vichara and try to know one's own nature, correct? From that. So, natam pashyati, tamna pashyati kaschana. But no one sees the seer. The nature of the seer of the dream is missed in all this, and that nobody sees. And Bhashyakara, no, kashtam bho. So, this is what kashta, okay? And it is, Bhashyakara says that what a pity, like that. Kashtam bho is really like what a pity. And why? Because vartate atyanta viviktam drishti gocharapanam api. So, even though this Atma is available to know in the dream as something separate from this body, mind, sense complex, that atyanta viviktam, he says, completely separate from the body, mind, sense complex, this Atma is available. And he even says, drishti gochara apannam, means it is available for you to know. It's as though visible to you. But then what? Even though it is available like that to know very clearly, what misfortune for the people of this loka, of this world, the worldly people, what misfortune for them. Because even though this Atma is as though available right in front of their eyes, and even though you can see it very clearly, it's Swarupa as Swayam Jyotihi, but they do not see it. That is the tragedy. Okay, what a tragedy or what a pity. Kashtam bho. So, Bhagyahinata is there. And what? Yet Shakya Darshanam api. So, even though it is possible to know this Atma in this dream as something separate from the body mind sense complex, they don't see it. So, Shakya Darshanam api Atmanam na pashyati. They don't see it. Iti lokam prati Anukrosham darshayati Shrutihi. The Shruti is showing empathy or compassion. Anukrosham means compassion, kindness, and all that you can say. Karuna. So the Shruti is showing compassion towards the worldly people, that they are not seeing this, even though it is available. So Atyanta Viviktaha Swayam Jyotihi Atma Swapne Bhavati iti Abhiprayah. So what is the Abhiprayah? This Atma is available as totally uh, segregated or separate, and also as self-luminous, self-existing, self-revealing reality. Swayam Jyotihi is available in Swapna, but still it is not seen. So that is the Abhipraya here. That is the opinion or view. And then further what? Tam na ayatam bodhayet ityahuhu. So now Bhashyakara goes to the next part. Tam na ayatam bodhayet ityahuhu. So prasiddhihi api loke vidyate. So in the loka there is something very popular, very well known. What is that? Swapne atma jyotishaha vitiriktatve. So again, with reference to the separateness of the Atma in Swapna, this Atma Jyotis is separate from the body mind sense complex, and this is there when one is sleeping or one is dreaming. This is known to the people in the world also. And Ka so means who are those people means, and so tam Atmanam Suptam Ayatam Sahasa Brisham na Bodhayet Ityahuhu. So these people say, do not wake him up suddenly. Ayatam means suddenly. Okay. So that's what he says. Ayatam, sahasa means suddenly, quickly. Brisham also can mean suddenly or quickly or even violently. Na bodhayet ityahuhu. So evam kathayanti chikitsakadayaha janaha loke. So the physicians are the Vaidyas, correct? Chikitsakadayaha janaha loke. So in the world also these people, these doctors you can say, or physicians, they say this in this manner, that don't wake up somebody quickly, suddenly. Why? Because they indeed see clearly. Nunam te pashyanti. What do they see? Or according to the Vaidya Shastra or Ayurveda also, what is that? Jagrat dehat indriya dwarataha apasritya kevalaha bahirvartata iti. So they also see that from this Jagrat Deha, this physical body in waking, through the Indriyas, this Atma goes out, okay, Apasritya, and it is there separately, Bahir Vartate, it is there out. Only the prana is actually functioning, but otherwise it withdraws and goes out. Therefore they say, Yata ahuhu tam naya tam bodhayati. Therefore they say, do not suddenly wake up somebody. Why? So tatracha dosham pashyanti, because they see a certain defect there, or there is a possibility of some defects coming. What is that? Some dosha. Brisham hi asau bodhyamanaha tani indriya dwarani sahasa pratibodhyamanaha na pratipadyate iti. So when somebody is suddenly woken up or violently woken up, then basically that Indriya Dwarani, the whatever Dwara through which you went out, you have to come back through that, correct? That you do not gain correctly. You may not come back in through the same Indriya Dwara, same gates of the senses, correct? You may not come back, you may not gain that correctly. Therefore, what happens? So, tad etadaha. So, with reference to this is said, what is that? Durbishajyam ha asmai bhavati yam eshana pratipadyate. So, that again is the Upanishad Vakya is just repeating here. So, with reference to this only, it is said Durbishajyam ha asmai bhavati yam eshana pratipadyate means yam here means Indriya Dwara Dvesham. Bhashyakara says. So, yam means that into which it has to gain something, correct? Whatever attain something. What is that? The Indriya Dwara Desham means that location of the Indriya Dwara that is not gained or attained. Why? Because and what is that place? From that only. So Yasmat Deshat Shukra Madaya Apasritaha. So already it was said that the Shuddha Chaitanya takes all this Indriyas and their whatever their power, correct? And then it goes out into the dream world. Again, it comes back into the waking and all that. We saw that the Shukram here, Adaya was there in 11. Shukram Adaya, Punaha Aiti Sthanam, like this. So that's what Bhashyakara is referring to that again here. So that this goes out through the Indriya Desha, but then when you are violently waking up somebody, it doesn't attain to that same Indriya Desha properly. Okay. So that is said here. Yasmat Desha Shukramadaya Apasritaha Tam Indriya Desham Yeshaha Atmaha Punarna Pratipadyate. Again, it does not gain that same entry properly. It doesn't enter through the same place through which it left. Therefore, what happened? Kadachit Vyatyasene Indriya Matraha Praveshayati. Sometimes in a Vyatyasa means in a different manner it can come back in. Okay. So those gates or whatever the dwaram through which it went out, it doesn't come through the same gate. It can go to some different gate. Okay, all the Indriya Matra means here that ability of the Indriyas we can take. It takes out and then you can misplace it, you can say. It can come through a different gate and misplace. Then when that happens, what happens? They say. So, Vyatyasena, it is said here. So, in fact, Vyatyasa word is a Sanskrita word. It is there even in Tamil also we use this. Vidyasam we say, in fact. Vyatyasa becomes Vidyasa in Tamil. But anyway, it may be there in other Indian languages also. So, Vyatyasena Indriya Matraha Pravesheti Tataha Andhya Badhiryadi Dosha Praptau Durbishajyam Dukkha Vishakarmataha Asmai Dehaya Bhavati. So, when this does not attain properly again the Indriya Dwara Desha, then you can become blind because the Indriyas may not function correctly, he says, or you can become Badhiryadi Dosha and all. So you can become blind, deaf, dumb, all the any Indriya, in all the Indriya activities you can take there. Okay. So there is a possibility that you may have deafness or blindness. Okay. Andhya is blind. Badhirya is deafness. So Adi Padat, you can take other Indriyas also may not function correctly. The dosha can be there with reference to these Indriyas. There is a possibility of that. And once if that happens, then it is Durbhishajya means Dukkha Bhishak Karmata means it is difficult to treat this body then. Okay, the Ha Asmai Dehaya Bhavati. So for this body, it attains a state where it is difficult to treat it medically. So Dukkhena Chikitsaniyaha Asau Dehaha Bhavati Ityarthaha. So Bhashyakara explains clearly. So even the treatment which is supposed to be, which is to be given to this Deha, it is very difficult, very hard. or very painful, maybe we can take all these things. So that is the view of all these physicians. Therefore, what? Tasmat prasidhya api swapne swayam jyotishvam asya gamyate. So from this, even through the popular knowledge in the world of the physicians, that this Atma is Swayam Jyotihi, it is other than this body mind sense complex, that can be known even from this, from whatever the physicians say. Therefore, what? Swapnaha bhutva atikrantaha mrityoho rupani iti tasmat swapne Swayam Jyotihi Atma. So having becoming the dream means you basically transcend the forms of this Mrityu, which is this body mind sense complex itself is called Mrityoho Rupani, correct? Because it is made up of all this Punya Papa, which itself is due to ignorance and all that. They are called Mrityoho Rupani. Therefore, what? Transcending all this, the Atma becomes, it is separate from this body mind sense complex, and it is Swayam Jyotihi, it is self-revealing, self-luminous light. Atha Athaha api khalu anye ahuhu. Now, further what? Thereafter, some other people anyway say, what? Okay, in dreams, it is like this, we are saying. But however, athaha means you can take it as however also. So, however, others say in a different manner. Okay, khalu anye ahuhu. What do they say? Jagarita desha eva asya yeshaha yaha swapnaha. So even the swapna is to be counted as only waking. It is not some separate state and all that. Okay. We say what? Yaha swapnaha. Swapna is a sandhyam sthanam and all that. It is separate and all that. But it is not like that. So they say yaha swapnaha na sandhyam sthananantaram ihaloka paralokabhyam vyatiriktam. So this swapna is not some other sthana, okay, or another state. It is all only waking, part of waking. And kim tarhi ihyaloka eva jagrita desha. It is like, it is this loka only, and it is also this waking state only. There is no paraloka and all that. These people don't accept paraloka also. Therefore, Swapna cannot be a sandhyam sthanam between this loka and paraloka. And it is all only in this loka and in this body, in this waking only. Everything is part of waking only. Okay. And why do they say this? Because they don't accept the Atma as Deha Vyatirikta. That is the main point here. Okay. So, here, Yadi Evam Kinchataha. So, if this is in this manner, if they say in this manner, what is the implication of that? Correct? Kinchataha. So, therefore, what? Means Shrinu Ataha Yadbhavati. So, what happens because of that? Listen to that. What? Yada Jagirita Desha Eva Ayam Swapnaha Tada Ayam Atma Karya Karanebhyaha Na Vyavritaha. Okay. Taihi Mishri Bhutaha. So, if that is the case, then what they really are trying to imply is that if this Atma is, or this dream also is part of the waking only, then this Atma is not separate from the waking body mind sense complex. In fact, it is mixed, or it is a Taihi Mishri Bhuta means it is mixed in them, or it is basically a compound of all these things only, correct? So even the modern scientists say that only, correct? Somehow all these things come together and consciousness is born. That is their theory. Okay, it is, or even the Charvaka has a theory, correct? They say that like if you mix beetle leaf, okay, and beetle nut, and then chew, then it becomes red. Okay, initially there was no redness there. You add beetle leaf, lime, beetle nut and all that. So the pan, you take the pan, there is no redness in that. But once you mix all these things, then redness comes. So like this, you mix all this different things, this Panchamaha Bhuta or whatever, or the body, or different elements in the body, and somehow consciousness manifests, or consciousness is produced. So that is the way they talk about it. So therefore, Atma is not Swayam Jyotihi according to them. So ataha na Swayam Jyotihi Atma ityataha Swayam Jyotishtva Badanaya Anye Ahu. So to negate the Swayam Jyotishtvam of the Atma, only they say that. Okay, Jagarita Desha eva asya yeshaha iti. So this Swapna also is only part of the waking, like this they say. And for that, what is the reason they give? Hetu. So tatra cha hetu machakshate. So the hetu they give is what? The reason for that jagarita deshatve yani hi yasmat hastyadini padartha jatani jagarita deshe pashyati laukikaha. So whatever you see in the waking, like elephant, etc., and different objects, correct? In the jagrat, tani eva suptaha api pashyati, the same things are seen even in the dream. So the same objects are seen by you. So therefore, the dream also is only part of waking. If they say that, what now? Bhashyakara adds this, it is not there in the Upanishad. In the Upanishad, it just continues that Ayam Purusha Swayam Jyotihi, okay, ityatra, like this. But Bhashyakara says Tad Asat, so that is not true, it is false. Why? Indriya Uparamat. So basically, in the dream, these same Indriyas are all not available. Correct? The Indriyas have resolved. Uparateshu hi Indriyeshu Swapnan Pashyati. So having withdrawn the senses and mind only, the dream is seen. Tasmat na anyasya jyotishaha tatra sambhavaha asti. Therefore, the other lights and all cannot be there. Whatever the light, the external lights which we talked about, like sun, moon, etc., in the Jagrad Avastha, those lights are all not available in the dream. Okay. So, na sambhava, and that was already said. Tad uktam. You go back to the na tatra ratha, na ratha yogaha, na panthanaha, and all that. So, ityadi, it was said in the 4.3.10 before. So tasmat what? Therefore tasmat atra ayam purusha swayam jyotihi bhavati eva. Therefore this purusha is swayam jyotihi. It is established. So swayam jyotihi atma asti iti swapna nidarshanena pradarshitam. So by showing this swapna illustration, the illustration of the dream, this atma is swayam jyotihi. It is self-revealing, self-luminous light that was shown. And also because of that, what atikramati mrityoho rupani itisha, also it transcends all the forms of the death. Why? Because the very fact that it can leave one body and go to another body and from there another body, etc., that means it is separate from this body mind sense complex, and therefore it does not die when the body dies. Neither it is born when the body is born, nor does it die when the body dies. Therefore it transcends mortality. That is the idea. Therefore, kramena sancharan ihaloka paralokadin ihaloka paralokadi vyatiriktaha. So by showing that this atma goes, or this purusha goes from one body to another and all that in a sequence, it is also shown that this purusha is separate from ihaloka and paraloka and even this body and whatever next body you take in that other loka. So tatha, from all this, what jagrat swapna kulabhyam, also not only the ihaloka and paraloka, but even the whatever body, the body again Bhashyakara calls kulaya here, which is nest. Whatever nest you have in the waking or in the dream, it is also separate from all that. It is separate from this loka and next loka. It is separate from whatever body you have now and whatever body you may have later. Therefore, from all this, what tatra cha krama sancharan, okay, nityascha. Therefore, since it goes in a sequence through all these bodies, it itself is neither born nor does it die. Therefore, it is nityaha. It is always there. Ityetat pratipaditam Yajnavalkyena. So Yajnavalkya has revealed this to Janaka. This Atma is Nityaha, Amaranaha, Amarana Dharma. All these things has been revealed. Therefore, what now? Janaka is very happy with this teaching. So Ataha Vidya Nishkriyartham Sahasram Dadami Ityaha Janakaha. So now he wants to pay, okay, for the whatever Vidya he has received. And therefore he gives, I will give you thousand cows. So Sahasram Dadami Ityaha Janaka told that. Again, Bhashyakara explains here, Saha Aham Evam Bodhitaha Tvaya Bhagavate Tubhyam Sahasram Dadami. So in this manner, the one who has been taught by you, okay, that person, me, I'll give you 100, sorry, 1,000. 1,000 means here 1,000 cows. And Vimokshascha Kama Prashnaha Maya Avipretaha. And this Kama Prashna, which is whatever I wanted actually really, and for that purpose only, and for the purpose of moksha only, I have asked this question, correct? And this, whatever you have taught me, tad upayogi, I am tadarthyat. So, for the purpose of moksha, it is helpful, whatever you have taught me now, tad upayogi, I am tadarthyat, for the purpose of this vimokshaha, for this moksha. So, the kama prashnaha itself is for the purpose of moksha, and whatever you have taught me is helpful with regards to that, but it is not complete. So, tad ekadesha eva. So, whatever you have taught me is helpful for me to gain moksha, but I still need more teaching. Therefore, what he says, ataha tvam niyokshyami. So, now again I ask you, what? Samasta kama prashna nirnaya shravanayana. So, I want to completely gain moksha, complete teaching I want. Okay. So, having decided like that to listen the complete teaching from you now. So, vimokshaya ata urdhvam bruhi. Further, you teach me for this moksha, because there is still some doubts are there. Okay, that is the point. In fact, Bhashyakara will explain beautifully in this introduction next what can be the doubt of Janaka and why he is asking Yajnavalkya to further teach. So he says, Vimokshaya ata urdhvam bruhi iti yena samsarat vipramuchyayam tvat prasada. So with your prasada, may I be freed from this samsara. So you teach me further for this moksha, further you teach me, further you tell. So vimoksha padartha ekadesha nirnaya hetoho sahasradanam. So even for teaching only a part, he is ready to give 1,000 cows. That's what Bhashyakara says. That shows the value which Janaka has for this teaching. Okay, the rest of the things we'll see next week. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
Oh.
ಹರಿ ಓಂ. ಹರಿ ಓಂ.